Good morning and welcome to my channel. On my review of my Vogue 300 Rally, I showed that the side stand had a lot of play in it, which was giving me some concerns. I was concerned about the actual strength of the thing. The bike before this was a Portuguese AJP 250 Enduro bike. It was a great bike, but there were some cheap parts about it, and one of them was the side stand. And it just kept bending and bending and bending, and you could bend it back again. There was the actual mounting bracket for the stand. Then it kept getting weaker and weaker. I bought a new one, replaced it, I sold the bike, and the new owner had the same problem. So there was obviously some fault in the material used for the side stand. So I could never trust it, and it's put in me a sort of inherent mistrust of the strength of side stands. Now I know on my Tiger 900 I can stand on with the side stand down, I can stand on the pegs quite happily because I really trust that side stand. But I've never done a static turn with it because I have this, I know people do this, but I have this concern that the stand just won't take the strain. Anyway, I've been looking at this one on the rally, and because of that, I mean, I can get on the bike without using the stand, but sometimes it's nice to stand on the peg and get over it more easily. And occasionally it might be necessary to turn the bike on the stand. It's not a technique I normally use. However, one of the viewers has asked, would I trust the side stand enough to turn it on the side stand regularly? So, being concerned about my own side stand, I went and had a look at it, and I've done a slight I've made a small improvement, which was actually a big improvement, but it's only a small job. And I'll show you how I actually went about that. You can see the amount of play on the side stand, the sideways movement here. And it isn't so much that it's weak, it's just because of all this play. And it feels like standing on it or turning it can only cause damage by putting stresses on that joint there. So the problem isn't the strength, it's actually the space here between the leg of the stand and the stand mounting. The first thing I tried to do was close the gap and squeeze the end of the stand together, the fork, by tightening up the nut here. That didn't work because the bolt is actually stepped, as you can be shown here, and it wouldn't tighten. The other small bolt to the left is actually for securing the cutout switch onto the end of the main bolt. So using my awesome powers of deduction and massive engineering skill, I decided that all you need to do to fill a space is insert a spacer. So I used this flat washer. This thin washer was just enough to close the gap, which did the job, as you can see. Now I've done that job and I've come out to test it, I'm going to film two things. One, standing on the peg, putting the weight on the peg, and filming whether it takes the strain, and if I'm happy with that, then I'll move on to turning the bike on the side stand. So here we go. I've got a camera mounted just behind the stand, and it will take footage of the close-up of the stand itself and the bracket, mounting bracket. So first of all I'm going to do, stand on the bike, on the peg, as if I was getting on it, and trust it. so far so good. That's still there and it's not bent. Now I'm going to turn the bike around by lifting it. This isn't something I've done regularly, so bear with me. Put the weight of the bike on the stand and turn it round. Okay. Well, it hasn't bent. That's a good sign. So hopefully
amazing.
I've done the job and it will give me good service. Thanks for watching.